in each scene that I shot, I had structural tension, end result, current reality, and we knew what the job of the scene was, what we had to accomplish, the amount of time we had to accomplish it, taking the action to accomplish it, and bam, it was done.
Yeah. So how do you do a good job of looking at those two ends of the tension?
You're asking me, how do you know what you want?
Now, Robert, you talk about the idea of framing, and I thought that was one of the most brilliant pieces that I picked up from your work, and the most useful for me to notice either in others or myself, whether or not we're doing a good job at identifying that tension.
Okay, but before we do that, I just want to do a quick poll. How many people here know at least one thing you want? Don't make it seem like it's difficult, please. My recommendation in terms of putting into practice what I'm describing is begin with something small that you want. End result, look at your current reality, take action steps and create it. And I would recommend doing something within the next couple of weeks in which you're focused on the outcome you want, you're tracking current reality as it changes, you're taking actions on the behalf of the thing you want, and that you create it.
Yeah, you said something small. Can't we get caught up in never getting anything done?
One way of looking at how we frame things is like a camera. We can have a close-up, a medium shot, or what's called a long shot. And one of the elements of the creative process is what I describe as the dynamic urge. In other words, desire. Not all desires are equal. On the close-up, we have appetites, impulses, instincts, and so on. Things that demand immediate gratification. If we back up to a medium shot, what we have is aspirations and values. If we go to a long shot, we have vague hopes and longings. This is when you're going to write the great novel or go to Tahiti and paint. And of these, the ones that really have the most efficacy in the creative process as an organizing principle are aspirations and values. Appetites demand immediate gratification. Time passes very quickly when you're in the frame of appetite. When you're in that close-up, there's no sense of future. That's why a lot of people can do things that are harmful to themselves because appetites are driving the action, demanding immediate gratification, and there's no sense of the consequences of that long term. Vague hopes is, we all know people who someday it's going to be this and someday it's going to be that, and they don't get to it. Aspirations and values really are the best organizing principle in the creative process.
I'll say it makes sense to me that I have this big long shot thing of trying to create cohesion in the world of who leaders are, what leaders do, but do it one step, one little creating event at a time. I can't get from here to the moon in a step.
Nor can I.